The key for all of us right now is we cannot steer our companies by the wake of our boat. And what I mean by that is you cannot look backwards at all. Like, a lot of big companies fail, and they fail because culturally it's really hard for them to adapt to all of the changes going on. And under times of stress, you want to fall back on what you did well in the years behind. And that's fine unless the landscape is changing tremendously. And I would suggest that if you look backwards right now, that the biggest impediment to your future success is your past success.
Wow.
So being able to challenge yourself to think differently. And the thing that I'm talking to our founders about right now, the thing that I was talking to PayPal senior team about, is we cannot think in ideas of 10% improvement, which is what typically people do. You want your EPS to grow by 10% a year on average over time. And therefore you try and make sure your revenues can grow maybe 5, 6, 7%. You cut your costs by a couple percent, and you get to an EPS growth rate of 10%. I think now we need to think about 10x. Like, how do we improve what we're doing by 10x? And the reason I say that is not that you're going to get to 10x, but it forces you to think differently than, let me just do things a little bit more efficiently. Like, what is my value proposition going to be? How can I expand my TAM? Can I do adjacencies? Can I cut my cost structure by 40%, not by 3 or 4%? What might that look like? How do I do that in a way that maintains, the morale of my company? And the best way of doing that is make sure you're not hiring a ton of people right now that can be replaced by AI, because then you have the worst thing for a leader is to not clearly understand reality right now. And reality is changing so quickly that I would just urge all of you to think carefully about what your cost structure looks like. It has nothing to do with kind of the troubled times that are going on right now, although I will say the CEOs that I've talked to, and I've talked to maybe 15 to 20% of the Fortune 100 CEOs in the last 10 days, they are all really thinking about utilizing AI a lot more, because the most difficult thing about implementing AI, implementing crypto or blockchain type solutions, it's more cultural than anything else. And there's that, what's that saying, like, never let a good crisis go to waste? Like, we may be in one of those times where we really need to think about, okay, if funding is going to stop, if acquisitions are going to slow down, what is it that we need to do radically differently right now to think about maximizing our potential going forward? And I think AI is actually going to take off actually faster as a result of what we're going through right now.